This might sound a little odd for me to say, as someone who runs a search company, but the best place to start when you're hiring is within your own network. Now, there's a caveat to that though. Only stop with the people you're already connected to if you find the ideal candidate. If not, don't compromise your standards in order to save a bit of cash or a bit of time. There are a lot of great people out there. If you do hire from your network though, you'll do it faster, 55% faster according to JobVite, with greater insight and context than any recruitment process will give you, leading to greater retention rates and typically better in-role performance. But the first step is to be very clear about what you're looking for. Most of the time, when looking for referrals, the question that gets asked is, we're looking for a new project manager. Do you know anyone good? Now, the problem with this is that anyone good is far too broad a term to generate a useful answer. You're asking people to sort through everybody they've ever worked with, interacted with or met, assess their ability on some kind of relative but undefined scale, and then decide whether they'd be a good fit for the ambiguous job of project manager. That's a huge amount of energy to expend, and most people will give up pretty rapidly. Instead, be specific. Tell your network that you're hiring for a new project manager position and that you're looking for someone with a strong background in drug discovery, who's likely either already in a project manager role or is a senior or principal scientist, with a track record of delivering good data in an industry lab and who has good people skills, for a role that's based in Oxford with some flexibility to work from home. Also tell them that you're not necessarily interested in whether people are looking for a job. You just like their recommendations as to who they think you should approach and who they think would do a good job, and tell them that you can leave their name out of it if they prefer. You're much more likely to get a positive response if you narrow down the field like this first. And think laterally when you're tapping into your network. You might know some great candidates directly, and absolutely you should contact them. But think too about who you know that might know the people you're looking for. Which of your contacts works for companies that employ the kind of person you want? And who do you have in your contacts that's just very well connected and seems to know everybody? Make sure you contact those people too, because often they love making introductions. It's a kind of social capital for them. And you can expand your reach by leveraging your team. If you have employees, a board, co-founders or investors, then you have access to individuals who are interested in your success. Make them your recruiters too. It can be worth setting up an employee referral scheme even as a small company. Research by the Society for Human Resource Management found that companies that offer referral bonuses tend to receive 27% more referrals than those who didn't. And Glassdoor have reported that 68% of employees are more likely to refer someone if a financial incentive is offered. It's also crucial to make it safe for your employees to refer people to you. Sometimes referrals are held back because your team are unsure whether their friends will be a good fit or whether they'll perform well at interview, and this can lead to concern that they'll reflect poorly on them. Let people know that you won't judge them on whether their referral gets the job in the end, or even if they do well in interview, and you'll remove some of that resistance. Once you have the names and contact details of referrals, be proactive and get in touch with them straight away. Unless you've been asked not to, give the name of the person who referred them. You'll be much more likely to get a response. And let them know that they've been recommended as a great potential fit for a position that you're hiring into. Flattery really helps here too, as long as it's specific. But reassure them that there was no indication that they're looking for a job and that you'd just like to speak with them to tell them more about the company and to see if they'd be interested in discussing the role further, or if not, who else they might know that you should speak to. Take the pressure off and don't treat that first conversation as an interview. The assessment can come later. Once you've engaged them as a candidate and they've expressed interest in the position, take them through the same hiring process that you'd conduct with anyone else. It's important not to take shortcuts. Just because someone was great in one environment, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll excel in another. Assess their competencies, their experience, and their fit with your values robustly, and make sure that you don't lower your standards just because they were a referral. If a referred candidate doesn't ultimately get the job, well, that's okay, but make sure that you keep them and the person who referred them up to date. It's always a bad idea to keep people hanging around, but doing so with the wife or brother of a key member of your team is much worse and will lead to internal issues. Be even more proactive than usual and give full feedback as soon as you possibly can. So start with your network, keep your standards up, and hire faster and more accurately. It's easy, really.